and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way. This is where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. This is part 2 of my Pirate Ghost series for Inktober, and in this video we're going to finish the sketch and start adding watercolor in the program Rebelle 2. If you want to know more about Inktober and the traditional materials that you can use, check out part 1 in this series, and I have a list of all the watercolors and the pens that you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working on my sketch in ArtRage 5. And as I explained in the last video, the reason that I am doing my sketch in ArtRage 5 is because it has photo reference windows, and you can use a whole bunch of photo references in ArtRage, and I like that a lot better. And Rebelle 2 doesn't have any photo reference windows, but I use an extra program called PureRef to look at some of the photo references, but I just wanted to go ahead and start out in ArtRage 5 because they have a really nice pencil tool and really nice sketching tools in it. So here I'm working on the pirate a little bit more, trying to get the lines cleaner and just trying to get kind of a really clean shape so that I can add all the watercolor to it. And in my last series, I was really lamenting the fact that I didn't do a really good sketch, so it was a lot harder when I started to do the main picture, so that's why I decided to start with a really detailed sketch. And so here I've got the sketch about finished, and so I'm using the export program in ArtRage 5 to save it as a JPEG file, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up Rebelle 2 and import that sketch into this program. So here's the interface for Rebelle 2. And it's mainly a watercolor simulation program. Now you can paint with some acrylics, and it has some chalk and ink properties too, but the main claim to fame for this program is that it's watercolor simulation. So I've gone ahead and I've got my pirate sketch here, and I'm going to add another layer and make sure that the original sketch is on the bottom so that it doesn't get messed up. And here I'm going to add sort of a dark blue color to the sky, and we just want a night sky here to give it a spooky look. And one of the things that you can see is the watercolor simulation in this program, and so it has controls over here on the left for how much water that you can add with your brush, and so it really will run down the page like you're dripping watercolor on it. And so you have to adjust your watercolor level, and so I've got the water turned way down here so that it won't drip so much on the page, but you can still see that it actually acts like real watercolor. And the tilt controls are in the upper right hand corner, and you can also change the way the water drips. I mean, you can change the direction of it. So you can, that little circle up there in the right hand corner is your direction for how the water will drip on your page. You can make it go sideways or up, down, just however you want to do it. And so here I'm using the different smudge brushes. There's a smudge brush and a blend brush right underneath the main menu for all the different brushes. And the watercolor brush is on the end of the menu there, and that's mainly what I'm using. And so I wanted to go ahead and do the moon with some really light yellow color, and you can use a small round brush for this if you're following along traditionally. For the sky, probably a big flat wash brush, and for the clouds, maybe a smaller flat wash brush. And if you're following along traditionally, you want to kind of leave those spaces empty, and I'm trying to show that and paint the same way with this program that you would do this traditionally. And here I'm just kind of trying to get the clouds sort of smoothed out here, and I'm using the smudge brush right now, and the smudge brush doesn't work quite as well as the blend brush, and the blend brush is just right next to that little finger symbol, and it works even better than the smudge brush. And all those symbols are up in the left side here, and they're right under the main brushes, and those are your blend and smudge and add more water and undo. And there's the little symbol that looks like wind blowing is actually to dry it. It dries everything on your picture, and there's also some more functions for that above your layers palette on the right hand side. And so here I'm adding a little bit of a lighter blue for the ocean, and I'm adding different colors of blue. You can add darks and light blues. I'm making it a little bit lighter than the sky because the moon will be shining on the ocean and reflecting a little bit, and just kind of giving it a lighter color. And so I'm using sort of rough strokes here. Again, I'm using a small amount of water, but it still runs down a little bit here. As you can see, you can really see the wet simulation there, and that's what's really neat about this program, is that it really does simulate watercolor and water media. And so you just kind of have to work with the controls and figure out how much wet you want it to be, and you can sort of erase away the drips if you want to, and you just have to work and see how much water it's going to add. And you use your water control on the left hand side to do that. And so I'm just saving it right there because sometimes it does crash. It is a little bit unstable. Rebelle 2 is pretty stable, but it is kind of a little bit unstable. And so here I want to paint his face with a green ghostly color here, add in some greens and blues. And as you can see, I have a little bit too much water in that brush, so I turned the water control way down on it. And then I'm just adding in some blue look just to kind of give it a scary ghost look, and some dark brown for the beard, and put some on the face. And then I thought I'd give him yellow eyes because that makes them look scarier when their eyes are yellow. And I'm just kind of smudging it in again. And I have a photo reference this time, and what I'm using is this little program called PureRef, P-U-R-E and then R-E-F. And it's free, and you can, if you want to, you can donate some money to the people that are doing it, and they're doing a really good job. But you can get the program for free, and it will also let you add multiple references, and you can make the window bigger, and you can put a whole bunch of different references on the board. It's called a board, a pin board kind of, and you can also enlarge the photos if you want to, and just sort of move them around. And it's a really nice program, and so I use it if I'm using a digital painting program that doesn't have PhotoRef windows. And so here I'm just kind of finishing up on his face. I added some yellow to make it look even more scary and ghostly, and then I'm adding kind of a blood red to the bandana just to make it look really eerie and scary. And I'm using not very much water on it because I don't want it to run too much, and I'm adding some more red color to it just to make it look really bloody and eerie. And then I'm working on the hat, and I just put in a kind of a dark brown color for the hat. And it doesn't need to be real bright because you want the focus of the picture to be on the pirate's face, because that's going to be the scary part of the picture. And then here I've got a little too much water. It's kind of running off, and you can go ahead and hit the symbol on the left side that is to dry the canvas, and that will make the water stop running. And I filled in the arm. I'm also going to make it green looking and add some blues and things. And you can go back with your eraser and kind of erase some of the drips there if you want to. And I'm just adding in a little bit of blue on the arm to make it look eerie looking and ghostly and corpse-like. And then I want to go ahead and kind of work around the hat there. And since it dripped off, I can just go ahead and take some more blue and add it in, and it kind of blends in as you add more blue around it. And if you put enough water in it, it will sort of blend in and drip around. And then I'm working on the clothes, and we want them to be kind of dark blue, kind of dark gray or blackish. And if you're following along traditionally, just keep using your small round brush and just fill in the colors here. There's not a whole lot of things that you need to do. Just throw in some blacks and some dark blues for the clothes, and use your green colors and yellows for the face. And basically, you just kind of work the same way that I'm doing with this program. And that's what I like about this program. It's really neat because it really does simulate like you're using a real watercolor paper and real watercolors. So this is the end of part 2 of my Pirate Ghost series. And in part 3, we're going to go ahead and finish out the rest of the watercolor and start a little bit on the inking. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you later.